Alright, well, I'm going to show you real quick how this would work straight out the box. You take the TSL S500 light. This is how it should have came. I'm just going to unbox it. Light works. Make sure it works. That's overdrive, high, standard. That's basically the standard. That's pretty bright. Plus it has the light here to let you know it's on. Of course you can tell that when you look at it. Then you have the signaling one. Then that's off. Okay, so here we go. We want to make sure it works right out the box. That's how it should have went. Then we're going to go in here and it says it's included with my light bracket. Okay. Basically it says this is a 3-second mount. It's kind of funny. Alright. There you go. That's on there. Once you get used to this, like I said at first, it's kind of, you know, because it's new. Alright. Here's the front piece. As you can tell, see, this is the light in. Do not let this come open. Try not to jack with this too much and make sure it's tight. You see it's got a slotted groove here, which is what we call a slotted driver, or a slotted groove, which is about the size of a coin, which is probably what you would use, or a washer. Make sure it's thick. Don't use a screwdriver. You will probably end up screwing this up. Use something of a larger diameter, like a coin, or something that you would probably have on you in your person. That would make more sense, or a washer of some sort. That way you don't booger this up. Alright, and then you're going to put this on here. This piece right here flips. You're going to flip this up. And it does grip, but I feel that this could be tighter. And I wish there was a way to adjust the tension on this. Because to me it feels like after it wears in a little bit, it's going to lose some of its ability to... This right here, in my opinion, like I said, this needs to be a little bit smaller in diameter. I don't know how big the diameter of the bikes, your handlebars, or where you're at, but mine is 5/8, I believe. And so to me, this would eventually move around a little bit, so I'd have to actually probably put something on the handlebar to keep it a little bit more sturdier. But that's what it looks like when it's on. There it is. It's a pretty bright light. I'm telling you, don't look into the light. It will hurt you. See, that's the flasher. As you can see my hand. See how bright that is? Okay, that's off. That's overdrive. And there's heat coming off of that. I can actually feel a little bit of a... Yeah, I can feel heat coming off of that. Overdrive, that's high. Standard. So that's actually how bright that would be. I mean, that's still pretty bright. That's low. I'll probably run it at low, a low setting. And that's the flashing. That's actually for signaling. And there's overdrive. But yeah, that's putting off some... I'll probably run it about there. Because that's about how bright the solar charging lights that I picked up for like $7, $8 at Menards. And I did some modifications because it did have a solar charger on it. And I think, you know, for what we do, that's what we want. We don't want to keep trying to find an electrical outlet so we can be attached to something all the time, because we do outdoor stuff, and where we go, there's no electricity. But if we use a candling device of this nature, my recommendation would, if y'all could, maybe, you know, include, if you're going to charge 120 something, you know, US dollars, or bronze green stamp currency, Federal Reserve green stamps, or whatever you want to call it, or credit or debit, or, you know, whatever y'all negotiate for trade. If y'all were going to include this light, I would make one simple suggestion for things. How about basically a formal little solar charger to go with this? Maybe, you know, maybe not on the light itself. I've seen ones that have it actually on the light. At first I thought this is what it was. It had a charger of some sort, of a solar charger on it. And that's what I was hoping for, and it didn't have that. I was like, well, man, for $120, it should be able to self-charge. And I've seen those, and that's what I originally was going to do, was get one from maybe Walmart or something. It has a solar panel on it, which is $18. And it comes with a solar charger, and it's waterproof. But as far as, you know, heavier equipment and the way the light is, and I was given this, I thought I'd give it a shot. It is USB rechargeable, that's cool, but where I'm from and what I'm going through right now, I'll give you a little bit of an example of what I use here at the camp. It is a solar light, and I paid, I believe we just all pitched in, it was $20, and you've seen how I acquire funding for you know, when we do volunteer stuff, we don't really get paid. We receive gifts, gratuity and things like that, but we don't really, you know, receive a consistent salary or things like that. We're not doing it for a paycheck. And so sometimes when we do have to negotiate with United States, you know, green currency, we call it the bronze stamp because that's what the green symbol on the actual dollar, the Federal Reserve note, if you've seen one that has a green symbol on it, that's for bronze, or what we call a copper. That's a copper reserve note. And I haven't seen a blue one lately or a gold one, so I know we're not doing business in gold or silver coinage anymore because I haven't seen it. But a lot of the currency here in Missouri especially is based on the, especially some of the places I've been, which are more, I don't know what you want to call it, they're based on the copper reserve notes. But I would include some way to charge this with a solar panel. That just seems more efficient, and especially they're trying to go green or green compliant. You know, it does charge with this, so you could probably leave it on your bike, but I wouldn't recommend trying to charge it while it is on the bike. You'd have to take it off, and then you would have to take the bracket off as well. You couldn't just, you know, well, hey, if it did come with a little, just a little bit of a, you know, some way to charge it, like a solar panel about this big or something, and you could purchase those aftermarket, like I've mentioned before, you know, and just have a setup somewhere on a stick or a pole or a stand outside, which is how we've been kind of doing it. But mine, one setup that I have right now doesn't have an out port to do this. I'm going to have to get another one. And somebody ran off with the other one that I had. I hope they're using it for a good purpose. But how I charge my belongings and batteries is I use solar panels. Because I have to be mobile and I don't want to have to keep going into the city because, well, I'll lose my gear. Because it gets snagged, it gets stolen, or it gets damaged, or it gets possessed by armed officers or something because they don't get it or they want it and they want an excuse. But anyhow, an excuse to take it. Let me finish that sentence. That's how it would go on, okay? And then if you need to dismount it, you'd undo this lever like this. And it does come off. You just got to be mindful of how you take this off. Because it is a little bit of a, it's stiff because it's new. And the way it's set up is it's not supposed to come off. And I do believe after a while of me jacking with this, it probably will end up getting wore out. So the smarter thing to do would be try to charge this on the bracket. But as you can tell, I don't think it's going to work like that. But this is how you would do it on the bicycle. You would try to charge it. Yeah, it'll fit in there. It's going to eventually probably, see how it's kind of wedged up against there? That eventually will probably cause some kind of damage in here in the port or on the cord. Even though that's the best way that I would use to charge this, see? On the handlebar bracket. Without even having to take it off. But it does come off in 3 seconds or more, you know, depending on your ability to remove this. And then you just push this back on there, but just try to keep it in there so no moisture gets in there. But that's how the bracket system works, and I wanted to go over that. I don't think I really included that in the unboxing part. And I think that's a good way to put it on there. I can see this moving around a little bit. It needs to be somewhat tighter, but you can, like I did on here, you can probably wrap something around there or to thicken up the girth of your handlebar there to keep this from slipping around. And I don't know if there's really a way for me to adjust the tension on this to actually fit the size handlebar that I'm using. See, as you can tell, I wanted to put it here, but I don't think that would fit because the handlebar or this bracket here is not even anywhere near, see where I'm going with that? The size that I need. So I wouldn't use it there. But this is, I believe this is, I don't know, remember if this is a 1/2 inch or a 5/8 handlebar. But it does seem to, like, it's got a little slack to it. And I don't know if there's a way to tighten that up. But that's how it would go on. This is how it would work. You just function that. That's how, that's overdrive. That's high. That's standard, is what they're suggesting. So you can see how bright that is just by my hand right there. See that? So that's pretty bright. And that's low. And as this is on, you can see right here that this light is on too. So that probably will pull power, but that lets you know that it's on. I mean, you can see that here, that it is on. But that light being on, actually, I don't know if that's coming from the back glare of this, or it's an independent light, but that would actually draw power from the battery as well. And see, there's your flash mode, and that's off. So here we go. That's overdrive. And I put my hand right there. I can actually feel some heat come off that. So you might be able to run that through a magnifying glass and start you a fire. I don't know yet, depending on how much light it is. If you have a strong enough magnifying glass. I don't know, I'll have to try that. That's overdrive. This is high. I mean, that's pretty bright. That's standard. As you can see, my camera can't pick that up that well. And this would be the low setting. That's probably what I'll run it on. And this is the actually signaling setting. And that's how it goes off. Because it is so bright, it looks like it takes a few seconds. But there it is. And as you can see, that's how it's mounted on there. And you just, let me see if I can do this one-handed. Alright, here we go. You pull this clip right here. And then you pull that off. And that's basically how this mounting system works for the Serfas TSL. What did I say? S500? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. TSL S500. Yep, that's how that works. And then you would just put it back on. And I'm doing this one-handed, so let's see if we can pull that off without ruining anything. Oh, no, I don't think we can do it. There we go. Let's try it now. Just a little bit of a nudge. Okay, it's on there. Like I said, yeah, it's still a little loose, but I think the bike that they had in mind of this, seeing how this is a high-dollar device, they're probably trying this out on a bike that's probably high dollar as well. And as you can see, I'm not riding high-dollar equipment. I'm riding just basically what they call a standard. Back in the day, they call this a courier or a police frame because it's a hard body frame. It doesn't have shocks on it. As you notice, this is an actually older bike. And yes, I'm not riding with front brakes. I prefer back only. And as you can tell, this is just a hard body frame, and that's all I wanted was just pipe and wheels and nothing technical, because to me this is just a tool. I mean, this is a tool bike, a work bike, and that's it. And I just didn't want a bunch of stuff that would fail on it. And that's what I'm running, just basically back brakes, and then boom, I jump off, and I have just a basic setup of, water bottle and an air pump and a small kit in the front. And usually I run a pack, or my other buckets that I put on this actually has, first aid gear and things like that. And this right here is just for picking up road debris when I do courtesy patrol on the weekends and things like that. During the week when I think there's sections of roads around here that they have a lot of road debris on that people can hit or get killed. And sometimes I have to run at night because, well, they have events here, and at night I hear a lot of people have accidents. So I try to pick it up before they, the day or that couple hours before they start coming into town. And yeah, I make a few dollars off the scrap and the salvaging items that I find, telephones, smartphones, whatever you want to call it, and a lot of road debris, which I turn back in, and we do receive a small amount of funding, and that's how, we kind of make it ends meet and get bike parts and things like that. But we are also, cool to the idea of, sponsorship and things like that, and people do donate gifts, like I said, this was donated to us, and so that's why I wanted to show the proper way to actually put this on your handlebar and how easy that was on there. That's a good idea. It works well. It's heavy duty made. I don't know what the deal was with the one I received initially, but as you can see over there, they did send me a that's the initial envelope it came in, and they did send a return. So that's what we're going to do straightway, is return the items and the that they requested that we exchange for, and that's what we're going to do. So here's a review of the True 500 Serfas 500 Lumen. That's what I guess the 500 means. True Light 500 Lumen from Serfas. So I hope this helped you, and subscribe or stick around, or look the company up on the website. Their lights are a little bit more affordable, and if you have to go through a retailer, be careful. Some places have like I said, the light here was $120, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought that was outrageous. But anyhow, I'm Munro, the Roaming Gnome, and I'll see you later.